Oh good, now I'm gonna start to lose my voice. Fantastic. Because, you know, why not? We go live, my voice starts to go out. Wonderful. Okay. I think we've done all of the things that needed to be done. I'm not sure, but I think we're good now. Okay. So we've got some work to do. I got the one leg done last night. Eventually. So, foot's still a little shifty, but it's much better than it was. It's a lot more tightened up, and we can work with that. That's fine. We're getting a little bit fuzzy because I keep moving around. So like I said, we'll do final haircut before we put the top color, the final accents on. Started working on the thigh up here last night, and then remembered I had some other stuff I had to do, and I had to go do them. So because they were a little more needed to be done right now. Like I had to go do dishes, we had to make dinner, had to do a write-up for a max level that came in that I forgot to do 3 times. I went to do it, finally got it, but yesterday was just a mess. But yeah, so here we are. I'm just slightly disorganized instead of completely disorganized today. So we work on the husband's statue. Now I had started to attach this bit of fluff, and I'm not sure if I finished attaching it. So I'm just gonna do another real quick pass. The inside of the leg was being kind of annoying last night, where I just couldn't really seem to get in there. Like, I couldn't get out of my own way, basically. And get in the position that I really wanted to be in, or I could be close enough to see what the hell I was doing. Alright. He's a little bit of an awkward boy, but that's just because of how I did it. I could have done each piece individually and not done the wire skeleton, and it might have been a little bit easier to attach, but with me and my trouble with making things symmetrical, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to pull that off, so trying to work within my abilities. Sometimes we can make that happen, sometimes we can't. And we go from there, basically. We almost ended up doing something different because I wasn't sure if I had to quick whip together a last minute gift. But I've been told no, and I'm still not sure if I'm going to do it anyway. I might have time to later this afternoon, maybe. I'm still a little undecided about it, but if I don't have time, it'll be okay. We'll see how my brain behaves. There's a spot on the back of the leg here that's being a little bit ridiculous about filling in. I don't know why it separated on me last night. It shouldn't have. I know we're zoomed out a bit, but if I zoom in any more, Dino Boy's not going to be in frame. And I figured you'd rather have all of him in frame than just a small portion of him. Alright, we're trying to be careful around that wire. You can kind of see the edge of it right here. Alright. Get this guy worked in here. So I hope everybody's weekend's been going okay. Hopefully. Getting down into, I think we've passed the mailing deadline. I don't know what the mailing deadline was. I think at this point, if you haven't shipped a gift, you're just kind of saying, sorry if it's late. Because I don't know how on time any of the shippers were even really running anyhow. There seems to be a lot more stuff being sent, or at least that's what it feels like, this year. Alright, let's turn him over. I want to work a bit on this front section here. Start to get him worked in. Now it did take me a couple of hours to get like from here down around the foot yesterday. All things said and done, but I also had to keep stopping whatever I was doing and go take care of some other stuff, so it didn't necessarily have my undivided attention. Well, this project does have quite a few hours on it. Just a few. Alright, so we have to go a little bit slow. We can't go like all the way slamming the needle through because, like I said before, and I'm sure you're tired of hearing it, we have that skeleton in there. And I used actual wire, not pipe cleaners, because I was afraid that the pipe cleaners weren't gonna be strong enough. So I've seen some people use pipe cleaners, but that might have just been because they didn't have other wire. And really concerned that the pipe cleaners weren't gonna hold up to what we were gonna do here. I probably would have had to twist like a handful of them together, and at that point I might as well just use the other stuff since I had it, because I didn't have that many pipe cleaners. And it's actually a good thing we did have what pipe cleaners we had available, because the husband had to do emergency repair on his one set of headphones. One of the ears keeps breaking off of the headpiece, the headband. The earphones still worked, so we've had to MacGyver that thing back together quite a few times now, and we finally figured out a way to make it last a little bit longer with some pieces of popsicle sticks glued on there and some pipe cleaners. Now I think he is getting a new pair for Christmas. I think. Sorry, I was just making sure how we were looking there. But I'm not sure if he's going to use these ones until they completely die and then swap over to the other ones, or if he's just going to leave these in reserve as a emergency when the other ones give up the ghost. I don't know. Still have that thin spot there where it's trying to split a little bit. But I mean, it's not too bad, and we could stick some, look you, we could stick some accent coloration there if we need to, I guess. Wait, what happened? Come here. Come here, you. I mean, I guess we can kind of do that and then drag this down and then start wrapping that there. Okay, let's see how that goes. Get that other finger out from underneath there. So I want to tack this down around that. piece. I can't slam it through where I want to because the wire is right underneath of it. So that's becoming a bit of a fussy nut there. I've got a song stuck in my head, and it will not go away now. And it is driving me crazy. It doesn't have, it's not a song that has words either, so that's the worst part. Or if it does have words, I don't know what they are. I've only ever heard the instrumental version, I believe. Now I just kind of have the melody constantly on repeat in my brain, and it's not even the entire part of it, it's only like, well, not the entire thing, it's only part of it. So that's like even worse, right? So it's just like a portion of this thing just stuck in my head. I'm just like, why? Why are we being like this? So I don't know if both feet are gonna work out the way I want them to. We'll have to see how things go here. I haven't finished the feet yet. The base feet are kind of done, but there's a little bit more that I wanted to do here. So we'll see if I can get in there and get it done. I'm sure I can, I just don't know if it will affect the stability. We will see. Okay, that song needs to stop. Every time my brain has a split second of trying to focus on what I'm doing, it's just re-racking and starting over. It's like, oh, you stopped thinking about something else? Let's go. Like, no. Let's not, shall we? Alright. So I'm getting excited for my turn in Planet Zoo. Husband still has a little bit of work left to do on his side before I do mine. Because I want him to finish his section before I take over. It's only fair. That way we're both on the same build at the same time. So I'm not sure when he's going to be doing or picking back up with his side. Probably won't be tonight because he needs to get a hold of his uncle, ask him a question before he completely rips apart our dryer, because the dryer broke last night. So, and he's probably going to want to eat before he touches the dryer. Probably. Sorry, I'm just fixing. I stabbed through part of the tail there by accident. Through a section I didn't want to be stabbed through. Oh my god. The song. Stop. I mean, it's not a bad song, it's just driving me crazy that that's what I'm stuck on right now. I mean, it's not a terrible thing to be stuck on, but okay. Let me set you there. I did get some more of this fluffed the other night. So that, look, Reginald, behave yourself. Reginald's getting feisty. It would seem. Feisty, feisty Reggie. Oh my goodness. Alright. So let's pick back up here. Felt like a cat tried to jump on the side of my chair. Okay, Reggie, I know that you want to be fussy and all, but I kind of need you to sit where I am putting you. At least for a few minutes while we are working around this wire. We're so close to the wire. This wire's right in, there it is. Right here. You can kind of see the outline of it. Going along the back of the leg, so I'm just trying to make sure that we're anchored in along both sides of it at the very least. As best as we can be. Alright, let's try and get on up into here. Carefully, ever so carefully. So I'm kind of okay with skimming this. I know it's pushing the fluff around, but the fluff around the inner fluff around that wire was a little bit loose. It was looser than I would have liked it to be, so this is also kind of tightening that up a little bit and just making sure that we are in fact attached further up. Gonna give me a little bit more stability here. Well, as much as it can, and I will take every little bit of extra help that I can. That we can get away with here. As we are coming down the back of our leggy. Kind of an awkward angle here. Just a bit. Just a wee bit. All right. Now, gonna work on the front section here, just making sure that we are in fact attached through the front bit of fiber. See how this goes. And we're getting there in this part of the leg. We're actually moving pretty good. I think we're coming down to the first forward. I think we were calling it a knee. Let's see how that works out. Let's see, we're almost to the point where I don't have to be quite so awkwardly positioned to get the inside of this leg here. Almost. We're starting to get into a little bit more room to maneuver. Or at least that's what I'm trying to tell myself. And I kind of have to look at how skinny our leg is, because I think we did beef up this part of the leg on the other side. I'm actually wondering if my idea of using this is gonna work past one project. It's flattening out pretty solidly. I'm not sure it's gonna work now after all. It might be too soft. It does seem to be condensing down on itself. At a pretty good clip there. Okay, look, dude. I just need to make sure that... Oh, we are sliding completely off frame. I'm sorry. Reginald seems to have a mind of his own here. And doesn't like cooperating. You okay?
Uh-huh.
Did your grinding buddy go, or did you go?
No, I ran to the restroom.
All right. So, just want to make sure this is good and settled in here. Alright, so I think we're going to need to do another wrap starting around in here. That's a good sized split there. I don't think I can do a whole heck of a lot with. Now I'm looking at it, and this leg's a lot thinner So I think we're definitely gonna have to beef this leg up just a bit. Is what I'm thinking. I wonder why that is. I wonder if I just had the roving thicker on this leg. That is possible. Alright, Reginald. Chill out there. No, Reginald, come on. Behave. Alright. Getting the next bit of fluff worked together. I think we'll keep going down to this first joint here, and then I'll come back and rewrap him. Might be the easier way to go. Maybe. Alright, let's see. Let's see, buddy. Alright, so if I got you wrapped there. Alright, we're kind of in frame. Kinda, sorta, maybe. And all of the above. Alrighty. See about getting this in place. As best as we can. And that should be at least tacked enough that we can turn Reggie boy here. And start attaching the front half a bit. That sounded scary. Don't like it when I hear the crunchy noises when we hit that wire. That's never a good thing. Not at all. But I still don't think we're moving at too bad of a pace. All things considered. Man, the wire on this leg, that might have been why this leg wasn't as robust with the under roving. This wire just seems to be positioned in just a way where it is being a pain in the ass. Now, I'm okay with this shifting further up again because we were going to beef this up a little bit anyhow. That might have been partially how the other side got a little bit thicker, but I do remember wrapping a little bit more around that, or saying that it needed to be a little bit thicker, so fairly certain some of that was me. And now I have to have him a little more awkward because the tail's being a little extra fussy. Alright. We'll get this guy all worked in here. Let's see, what time is it? Okay. Now we're not doing too bad for the time. Not really. Not for me. We are eating together tonight. Well, the husband and I. I'm not eating with you guys. Sorry. I can't take you with into the kitchen. I don't have the means to. Our kitchen's a mess right now anyway. There's nowhere to safely put you anyway. I don't really have any counter space, which is kind of hilarious for the size of the room. But no, husband and I are eating dinner together tonight. Okay, Reginald, buddy, no, stop. Okay. Reggie, my boy, this inner leg of yours. I don't remember quite having this much trouble with the other leg. But then again, the tail curled away. Tail is curling right into where I need to be. So sorry for the weird angle right now, but that's why I wasn't originally going to stream this guy, because he's nothing but weird angles. However, I really need to get him done, so I didn't have time to work on a different project plus him. So this is just what we're doing right now. So we're just kind of going with it. So how did everybody's weekend go? Did anybody do anything? Has everybody done their holiday shopping? I know some people that don't go shopping till Christmas Eve. They just like to wing it and like the frantic stress of the last minute shopping. I can't handle that. I need shit done and finished and wrapped by like 3 days out, or else my nerves just can't handle it. I remember one year I ordered some kind of Christmas ornament that was supposed to be a work gift for somebody. I was super upset because it was coming late, or later than I wanted it to be, and then when it arrived it was completely shattered. I was like, are you kidding me? I picked up the box to open it and all I could hear was glass tinkling inside. I was like, oh, no. So then I had to last minute figure out something else. I can't even remember what I did to replace it. I was like, oh, son of a bitch. I had contacted the company. I'm like, yeah, this arrived shattered. What the hell am I supposed to do with this? They're like, oh, well, we'll send you a replacement. And I'm pretty sure the replacement came shattered too. And it was past the time I needed it for. And then they ended up just refunding me. And I was like, do you want me to send these two back to you? Because I will. They're like, no, we'll just refund you. So I think they were having problems. Because that was awful. So anxious about it coming, and then it was in fact shattered. I was like, I don't have time to figure out something else now. It's like, thanks. All this, and then I also had to wait for my refund on top of it. I was like, ugh. The first time it arrived shattered, I was like, oh, well, maybe shipping fucked it up. And then when the second one arrived shattered, I'm like, alright, you all need to, like, figure out your shit. Because, what the hell? You're either not packaging these right, or they're coming out of the company broken. And it was rather infuriating. Let go. Alright. I'm gonna go with a little bit smaller of a piece. Well, that's what decided to come off. But, we're wrapping around this leggy here. Well, this part of the leggy. Coming up on the knee. I'm gonna stick you there for right now. Alright. So, let us start wrapping you around in here. Alright, let's try this. I'm just gonna take those couple of foam bits there, the loose ones that aren't attached to our stack. I'm gonna fold them over on themselves and just kind of tuck them in. Give us a little more stability, hopefully. as we try to attach this guy. Because yeah, there's not much solid roving in here. There's nothing really slowing down my needle coming up on that wire there. It's hard to know the exact angle that he's bent at until I hit it. So I'm trying to be super cautious here. Alright. Okay. Reginald, sir, you are definitely a labor of love. Most assuredly. Alright, so that knee's probably gonna need a few passes on him. Hang on, my allergies are not good the past couple of days. And my sinuses have just been going crazy. Oh. Okay, that's a little better. My eye was starting to water and I couldn't see what I was doing. And you really need to see what you're doing with this, so not something I want to fuck around and find out with, because I already know where it's gonna go. So we already more than know. Okay. I know I'm going over a couple spots that we've already sort of been over, but that's all right. You might want to do that just a little bit, because as you're attaching in other spots, you might not necessarily pull loose a section, but you know, it could shift a little bit as all those fibery bits are joining together. Or that could just be a me thing where I feel better revisiting, especially if it looks a little off and misshapen as we've been going. Sometimes we just need to reevaluate the situation. We will see, though. So, let's see here. Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder if my idea for doing a pad out of these is gonna work, because now that I've been using these two, they've been compressing quite a bit. What's the matter?
Oh, nothing. I have to go get them food from McDonald's, but they can only afford food for themselves. I'm trying to get them to understand that that's fine.
We're making pizza.
Yeah, that's what I told her.
I already made the dough. It's okay. They're the ones that kept insisting on getting us food before. It's fine. We already had dinner sorted.
Yep, so we might end up with like a couple things in one, but
I'm fine.
Yeah.
What the fuck ever. Okay, I'll tell him that later. Mother-in-law is stopping by tomorrow at some point. So there's a good chance that there could be commotion in the background of tomorrow's stream. So I do apologize if there is. But apparently they were talking about leaving tomorrow, but now she has to, I think she was strong-armed into going to a doctor's appointment tomorrow. And apparently the other sister that they are staying with in Missouri is coming with them, and I was like, oh no. Why? I'm like, I don't have anything for that sister. Like, am I supposed to be making something for the sister? So then I was in a bit of a mad panic, because, you know, you don't want to give gifts to people that are standing there that are all, you know, and you're like, oh, here's something for you, and here's something for you, and oh, I didn't have anything for you because I didn't know you were going to be here. But I know she's going to be with them to go to the mother-in-law's doctor appointment, because they're concerned about, the one sister's concerned about her behavior. Russell and I were trying to explain to the one sister, she's been doing that since I moved down here. We think it's just how she is. But she wants to come and give the perspective of what she's been seeing from someone that doesn't see her that much. And I'm like, yeah, she's been doing this since I've been here, so at least like 8 years or so now. Cats, can we... Hey, Ed and Little. Hang on, guys. Ed and Little. Ed, you gotta stop getting in her space, okay? She doesn't like it. And she gets upset. She doesn't want to cuddle with you. I'm sorry that you're having trouble understanding this. She does not want anything to do with you. How about we just leave her be? Little doesn't like Ed. So when Ed starts to get close to her, she's like growling and hissing. And I already had to separate them once. And she's just like, leave me alone. Get out of my personal space. And he just isn't comprehending that. Because him and the other two male cats are, like, all over each other. In quite the cat pile most of the time, where they're laying there grooming each other and laying on top of each other and can't figure out where one cat starts and another cat stops. Sort of situation. Alright, let's see. Can we get in here? Like, I can see, I just can't get my hand in here. That's what the big problem is. My hands are little, but apparently not little enough. Just kind of tap that loose bit down into there. It's getting a little loose. A little loosey-goosey. Alright. I know this is a very unflattering position, Reginald, but I really need to attach your leg fluff. And I'm having trouble getting in here to do so. Alright. I actually had a feeling when my mom knocked that that's what she wanted, was for Russell to go and find food. Alright, your leg's looking pretty good. You're also looking pretty fuzzy in a couple of spots there that we've already done. So let's see. How are we faring here? Well, you're still standing, so I mean, that's something. Your leg's definitely thinner than the other one, so yeah, we definitely have to beef that boy up a little bit. Down in here, because this one's a lot thicker than the other. Come on, buddy. There we go. So I mean, you can kind of see this guy's a little chunkier. So let's see what we can do with that. Hey, Taco, how's it going? Yes, it is Dino time. Sorry, I didn't see your message right away. Trying to work on the Dino. Oh, you're okay. It happens. Russell went to go get my parents' dinner, so I can explain what he really is and why Dino is in quotation marks. Russell had to help me cut some of the wire for the skeleton because I needed a second pair of hands to hold something in place while something got cut. And he's like, "What the hell are you making?" When he saw the shape of the skeleton. And I'm like, fuck. of course he's going to ask because this was part of his Christmas present. And I was like, nothing. And he's like, no, really, what are you making? He goes, I want to know. And I'm like, what do you think it is? And he's like, I don't know. I said, well, it's your Christmas present, number one. And he's like, oh. He goes, okay. I said, well, no, what do you think it is? Because he loves to torment me over Christmas gifts and what he may have gotten me. And, oh, this surprise is waiting for you. I wonder what it could be. You don't know what it is, kind of bullshit. And, you know, just to aggravate me. And so I finally said, what do you think it is? And he goes, I don't know, a dinosaur? And I'm like, okay, it's a dinosaur. It's kind of a dinosaur. It's similar to a dinosaur. We'll go with dinosaur. What it's actually supposed to be is let me see if I can get the image real quick here while he's gone, because he never goes back and rewatches this shit. So, let me go into my private Discord. I have it saved in there. I use this as like my filing cabinet for shit that I need to keep track of. Like, I've got links in here for MP3s for the podcast and stuff. So let me see. I don't think I saved this. Where am I gonna put it? I guess I'll put it here. Z. Okay, so alright, let me come over to inspiration image. That's not it. We're gonna get what it's supposed to be. So a couple of months ago, where is it? I saved it. Where did it go? To the very top? Oh, I'm in the wrong folder. That's why I can't find it. I'm like, where the fuck? Where are you? That was a pickup truck. Oh my god. Where is it? I saved it. Really? Where the hell? I've probably looked at it like 4 times. And now I don't see it. Well, what the shit? Yeah, Liz. Where is it? Okay. Apparently it found it. So, a couple of months ago, he had this idea for a D&D character. I can't remember if he was actually going to use this character in one of the games they were trying to do or not, but he had been really enthused about it, where he wanted to make a lizard folk. And it was supposed to be like a Cajun Bayou survivalist lizard folk, surviving out in the swamps of Louisiana. And so he had put it on looking for artist Reddit, because he was curious to see what other people might draw it as. And apparently the time of day he posted it wasn't good, because it got buried under a shit ton of other posts, and nobody responded that I'm aware of. And I felt really bad, because he was so excited about it. So then I was like, you know what? I was originally going to try to draw and paint this. And then I'm like, this is going to be a hot disaster. So then I got it in my head of, oh, well, what if we try to needle felt it? He might appreciate that more, and then he can display it instead of a piece of paper that'll get crumpled and lost, and who the fuck knows. So, I thought he might appreciate this more, so he can attach it to his monitor or part of his desk or what have you. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make a lizard folk. we're calling it a Dino. Don't tell him it's a lizard folk. He may already know, but we're calling it a Dino. And we're gonna see how this goes. He wanted it to have like a surprise face, so that's why his mouth is open the way it is. And I was like, well, what color, were you trying to get people to do this? And then he goes, well, whatever color they want. And I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to work as quickly as I can on this to get the base color down. I've got some ideas for some color accents in certain spots. I'm gonna do the tummy area like green, and I might carry over some of the blue striping from the side, or we could do orange striping, and I'm gonna do some green and orange dots in certain places on him. If I have time, I'm going to try to put a little vest on him. I've given him a backstory now about why one of his arms is longer than the other, because that was an accident. When I first measured the wire for the arms, they looked about the same length. And then after I got the roving on there, I'm like, oh fuck. I was like, I either have to cut the roving, and try to even up the arms and just give him slightly shorter T-Rex arms, or we give a backstory about how a gator bit off his hand on the other arm. So that might be where we go with that. But I wanted to make him a little vest to put on, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to give him pants or a loincloth. I might go loincloth just for the sake of time. We'll see. But that's kind of where I'm at with this right now, and this project kind of got a lot more involved than I was thinking it was gonna be. It's like, oh yeah, I've got plenty of time to do this, and then suddenly all the other Christmas gifts had to get done, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna be done if I want to do everything I want to do to it. So I'm like, ugh. And now I think the guilty side of my brain might kick in tonight, and I might have to quick cobble together a snowman Christmas ornament, which I think I can get done in maybe 2 hours, for the aunt that's unexpectedly showing up tomorrow with the other two. So I'm like, oh fuck me. So I think I might have to end up doing that. But I think I can cobble together a snowman in pretty quick order. So I think I know where that cookie cutter still is to use as the base for it. So, but that's why Dino is in quotation marks, because he thinks it's a dino. And I was like, well, what color do you want your dino to be? And he's like, I don't know. He goes, I don't care. He goes, whatever you want. And I'm like, but it's your dino. He goes, yeah, but you're making it. So he goes, you make it whatever color you want. I was like, well, I don't want to make it a color you're going to hate. I said, I already feel bad that it's going to be kind of derpy because it's me making it. He goes, it's a handmade gift. All handmade gifts are derpy and adorable. He goes, it's fine. He goes, you do what you want with it. And I'm like, yeah, but it's your dino. I need input. So he wouldn't give me a color, and this was the closest color to the lizard in the picture there that I had. So I was like, okay. I mean, I could go with the light version of this as the stomach instead of the green, and maybe do green dots instead of orange. I mean, orange might complement a little bit better, but then orange would also make him stand out in the swamps, I think. So maybe we'll go with that other shade, and then oh, it's my mom. Sorry, I heard a noise out in the other room and I thought the cats were fucking around again. It's gonna be like, cats, I've had enough today. After the dryer broke last night, I almost had a fucking meltdown. because we had a load of laundry that was sopping wet that we needed to get in the dryer. And we're out here in not totally Stickville, but it's not as 24-hour laundromats around here are kind of a unicorns, and there is one apparently. I don't know if it's really 24 hours. It says it is on the Facebook page, but who the fuck knows. We're not that familiar with it. So we did find one in the next town over. Not that we really had the money to spare to take the shit to the laundromat either, but he was trying to figure out what the fuck was wrong with it last night. Like, it dried the load earlier in the afternoon. And when we went to swap it while I was making dinner, everything seemed fine, and he hit the start button and it started to go, and the second he took his finger off the start button, it stopped. And we're like, what? He thought he like mishit the button, so we tried it again, and the same thing happened where it started, the drum started turning, and the second he released the pressure on the start button, it stopped again. And we're like, what? It's not a popular brand dryer. We got this from his grandmother's house when she passed away. It's some company that I think begins with an A. It's something I'd never heard of before, and I was a little nervous when I saw that that was the company name, and I was like, oh, I don't know. If something goes wrong, are we even going to be able to fix this? Because it's not like Maytag or Whirlpool. It's something with an A, and I'm just like, okay. Russell thinks because the drum is still turning, it seems to be a switch that checks the belt tension. So either the belt is loose, but the drum was still turning, so I don't know. Or the switch that checks the tension on the belt is bad. We don't know which. So he was trying to figure out how to get it to see if the switch just got jostled loose or something. And our dryer is a side load and not a top load dryer. I didn't know there were top load dryers though, but apparently it's a front load dryer. Which I thought they all were, but whatever. And he's not sure how to get to the motor where the switch is. Right now the control panel's pulled off, and I'm not sure why. He was trying to look up videos of how to get to the motor on this thing, which were proving problematic. That was awfully quick.
Yeah.
And he decided to pause and get a hold of his uncle, who has taken dryers apart before to try to figure out what he should be taking off to get to it so he doesn't go past the point of no return. Because we don't have the money to have somebody to come out and try to repair it. We definitely don't have the money to replace it. And we don't know how much. There's like a appliance warehouse near us, right down the road a bit, that does like refurbished appliances, but they don't have any prices listed on their website. They like do new and refurbished. And while the idea of a refurbished dryer does concern me, sorry, we're sliding. I don't know how we slid, but we did. We need to do something because it's too cold to be hanging stuff outside. They keep changing our weather forecast for the next week. They can't make up their damn minds about what it's going to do. They took our snow showers for tomorrow morning away. And they changed our forecast for Thursday to rain, snow, and wind. And a high of like 36 and a low of -3 or -4. I was like, oh my god. Like, I can't really hang clothes out to dry like that. They're not gonna dry. They're gonna become icicles. And we don't really have hangers because we don't have closet space to hang stuff up in. So I can't just hang stuff up in the bathroom and let the heat from the heater running dry the shit. And we have, I think, 2 small drying racks, but we don't have enough room in the bathroom to set both of them up. It's a whole fiasco. At least drying a load was only $2. But we still have another load of laundry we have to wash, and I'm like, fuck. I mean, we're no strangers to the laundromat. We had to go for quite some time when we were in New Jersey when one of the appliances wasn't functioning. Can't remember. I think it was the washer. The washer broke. And then we were just bringing the stuff home and drying it. Or were we drying it there? We might have just been like, fuck it, and just dried it there. Because we could throw everything in one go. So it was like, get home from the casino. Quick, get the laundry together and try to get to the one laundromat before it got too busy, because that laundromat wasn't 24/7, but I think they opened at like 7 a.m. So on our days off where we could go to bed a little bit later, I think our first day off when we had to do all of our other shit, we were trying to run over there real quick and then go food shopping. But Russell said the laundromat here in the next town over definitely had like horror movie, creepy stalker vibes to it just because of how deserted it was, but he said it was pretty well lit. But he's like, I was the only one there. I was like, you're the only one there on a Saturday night? He goes, yeah, it was kind of weird, but I guess either people were out at the bars or they just don't stay out that late around here. There's a lot of farms, so I can see people going to bed kind of early, but Just of all the fucking things to go wrong last night, I'm just like, seriously. Like, good. So, it was quite a day. Like, I went to go and do Porster's write-up like 3 times yesterday. I was starting to work on something. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work on his thing after dinner before I start doing something else. And then I sat down and started doing something else, and I was like, oh, I need to do Stir's thing. Was setting up to do it, something distracted me, and then completely forgot again. And I didn't remember again until like 2 a.m. and I was like, oh fuck. I was like, I need to go do that. Son of a bitch. My brain was just in a million different directions last night. I mean, understandably so, because there was just so much going on, and it doesn't take much to derail my thoughts, as we are all very well aware. There I go again with that damn song. It keeps sneaking in. It's constantly running in the background of my brain right now, and it won't stop. But like every chance it gets where I stop talking about other stuff, it's trying to sneak in. Oh, that's maddening. Alright, buddy. I need to... I don't know how to... Your tail is just awkward in this particular spot that I need to get into. That's all there is to it. All there is to it. It's extremely, extremely awkward. Alright. So we probably won't be finishing his other leg tonight on stream. Because we're eating together. So I won't be able to just go as long as I normally would. If we weren't, although to be perfectly honest, my stomach's starting to growl, and it was growling when I went to bed last night, so... Reginald, my friend, we keep sliding off of camera. He's a little camera shy. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so we're eating dinner tonight. We don't have to wait for my mom to get out of the way now, since he had to go and get her dinner. So probably won't be going that much longer, because yeah, I'm fucking starving. Like, I had dinner, and then I had a snack, and... But I guess when I'm only really eating one full meal a day... Gosh, you'd think I would have lost some more weight by now doing that. Totally haven't. But, yeah, so I'll have to keep working on this guy tonight off stream. For sure. At least for a little bit. Okay, so I'm tapping him and the whole mat is sliding. Now I see what's happening. I wasn't paying attention before as to how we were sliding all over the place. Oh, Reggie. Reggie, buddy. And I thought your foot on the other side was being a pain in the ass last night. No, we weren't. This is 10 times more infuriating at the moment. that's not... Okay, that's kind of a little bit closer in thickness, thigh thickness, than they were. So that's a little better. He still seems a little bit... Oh, let's not with that. Still seems a little loose in here. So yeah, I have to cobble together that last minute gift. And then I can get back to work on this guy. Husband's been trying to get some farming in on WoW today. So I will probably try to work on this a little bit more tonight. Probably until he goes to bed, and then I will probably be hopping into WoW myself and seeing what I can come up with. Because we're kind of grinding in similar spots. He hooked up with a warrior that was out there earlier that he was tagging along with. Which is kind of interesting because up until that point I hadn't really seen anybody sticking around in that particular spot. Well, he's still standing up, so that's good. That's very good. Okay. Let's get a bit more fluff. Alright. He told you about the porcupine spot. Yeah, no, that's fine. It's just, you know, that and the dense hide seem to be selling about the best right now. I keep accidentally triggering the horses. I guess they're horses. They're like a horse stag combo breed. I don't know what the fuck they're calling them. Or what classification they're supposed to be. But the horse dragon things, I keep triggering them in the one triangular section of ground in the middle between the two roads. And so I've just kind of, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna kill them anyway. Because they are occasionally giving me illustrious hide, though more often than not I'm getting the scales, which aren't selling for shit now. But, you know, I'm not even sure if the hide sold last, but even the hide was, the illustrious hide was selling quite a bit lower than the dense hide was, so... And I think we put points in Trophy Hunter, I think is what it was, or Trophy or something like that, in harvesting. And we're trying to max that out before we start moving over to tanning. But I've kind of not been getting the drops for the skinning knowledge book. And I haven't been able to quest because of the dragon riding. So I haven't finished any campaigns for any zones. So I'm not getting the world quests to pop up for potential skinning knowledge points. Russell saw something about where you can get the knowledge points through Dark Moon Fair, but I don't know if that's Profession or Gathering. We'll have to take a look when the next Dark Moon Fair rolls around. And I told him, I said, well, if you can take care of the dragon riding part of some of these quests, I can try to slam through the other ones to try to get some of these world quests to pop up. But I think he's more wanting to wait and see what happens when Dark Moon Fair pops up at the beginning of January. So I almost have Trophy Hunter maxed out. I think I'm at 31 of 40. I don't have Harvesting fully maxed out though. I forget how far into Harvesting I am. I may only have 10 points in Harvesting. For a while, man, I was getting the learning thingies left, right, and center. And I got exactly one last night, and I haven't seen one since. I don't know if he found any today. Did you get any knowledge?
3.
Oh, you did get 3? Okay, so they are dropping. It's just completely RNG, it seems.
Yeah, it's very RNG with very low drop rate, so...
Oh, yeah, okay. So, and my RNG hates me, so...
I only got one when I was with that person that was getting everything in sight, so... The other 2 were during normal gameplay.
Where did you go?
Oh, I went and had a little bit of their leftover food.
They had leftovers?
Yeah. The things that they would have given us for dinner if that was enough. Did you want some of the nuggets saved?
No, but I'll eat like 2 now, if there are 2.
Yeah.
So I didn't know when you wanted pizza.
Whatever's convenient, I can take some.
Okay, so we can go a little bit longer then. I wasn't sure if he needed to eat like right now. I wasn't sure how hungry he was. So, alright, so we can go a little bit longer then. Thank you.
Alright, there's 2 left. Do you want them or do you want me to give them to the dogs?
I'll take them.
Okay. Well, here, let me just leave this up here out of your way then.
They've got more than enough stuff in the freezer.
Yeah.
More than they should have, really, but... So what did you end up with when you finished with that guy?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, how much stuff did you end up with?
Hang on.
Or are you still running with him?
Oh no, he had to take off too.
Alright, so we're just kind of working our way down the leggy here. Trying to wrap around our knee joint.
Got like 16,000.
I meant like stuff, not...
It's the same stuff as always. Nothing new.
Like, did you get any illustrious hides, or...
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff.
So you already put it on auction house then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know when you had stopped with him.
Right before I went and checked in with your parents and found out I need to go get them food.
Yeah, when I don't see anything sitting out for dinner for her, I'm always like, And I heard him wake her up shortly after I got started. And I still hadn't seen her come out and start dinner, so I was like, interesting. Did you tell her your mom's stopping by tomorrow?
Yes.
To get her stuff?
Yes.
I still might do a snowman for Doreen just because it's bothering me.
Yeah.
I know she says that she wouldn't be upset, but you never know. That might be Southern for, yeah, I am gonna be upset. I don't know. I mean, your aunt didn't grow up down here, but she may have picked up the mannerisms. I'm not doing anything for Linda. Linda can go screw.
No.
Nobody can make that happen. But no, I think your aunt is just seeing how your mom is normally. If she's the one that was concerned about...
I mean, it's possible she's gotten worse.
Oh, it's very possible, because she was, like, getting to be a lot with the staring and just standing in the hallway staring at me, and I'm like, hello, can we not? And then she'd be like, oh, I forgot what I came out here for. And then she would turn around and go back in the bedroom and then come back 2 minutes later and start it over again. And I'm like, just come and get what you want. It's more creepy when you just stand in the darkened hallway, staring into the room that I'm in. Like, I get weirded out because you do this. It's not that I'm fully weirded out by your presence. You can be in the same room with me. Just don't do that, please. If we can help it. Because it's very eyes in the shadows, being creepy. Especially when I already had that issue with that guy at the casino, so... I'm a little more unnerved by it than others. Or a little more easily agitated by it than others. Alright, that's not too... It's not too bad. That's definitely tightening that up. It feels a little more solid. It's got a little more weight on it. Doesn't feel quite as down to the wire as this does, because this is like nothing compared to this. This is a lot looser, a lot thinner. This has got some chunk to him. Alright. Reginald, could we stop falling off of our spa table, please? Thank you. Sorry, I'm just shoving something in my face real quick because I'm starving.
Nom, 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 nom.
Pretty much.
Good stream.
Pretty much.
Critical quality. Nom, nom, nom.
Well, I mean, my stomach was growling when I went to bed last night, and I was gonna shove something in my face when I woke up, and then I kind of forgot. And the more I'm sitting here, the more hungry I'm getting. Alright. Oh. Drop that down there. Okay. So it's not the prettiest rolled piece of fluff, but it's alright. It's getting the job done. Or at least we're trying to get the job done. It's a little bit slow. Sort of, but then again, maybe not really. Those were kind of peppery. Or they cooked them in the same oil as the spicy ones.
Really? I didn't notice.
My mouth's burning.
Huh. Maybe it's just the one you got. Maybe you got a spicy one by mistake.
They were both like that. It doesn't feel like like buffalo spicy, though. It feels kind of like I bit into a peppercorn, but not exactly.
Holy shit.
Because, you know, when we used to do the cracked pepper out of the little grinder, and sometimes you'd bite into one of those pieces and it would be a little bit hot. That's kind of what I'm getting.
Like I said, I did not notice that in any of the ones I had.
Well, you also eat spicy food sometimes, so I don't really.
And you were already smell sensitive the other day, so.
Not really a smell, it's like a hot sensation in my mouth.
Yeah, but I'm saying your senses might be a little bit more.
Yeah, last night was not fun with being sensitive to smells. Well, early this morning, shall we say. The only one up and smelling random weird shit. And then trying to calm myself down because I'm like, no, this smells normal. This smell belongs. It didn't help that my mom was trying to set the microwave on fire yesterday too, so. It tells you on the French fry bag, do not microwave.
Yeah, now we know why, huh?
And my dad started microwaving them anyway when he lived in New Jersey alone. Because he likes soggy French fries or some shit. I don't know. And, in his experiments with it, he managed to set the smoke detector off in the apartment that he lived in there. And my mom doesn't pay attention to how she puts stuff on a plate. And you're not supposed to have them touch each other. And she just kind of threw them in, and Russell walked away, and I'm standing there in the kitchen, and she's... I
wasn't even there at the time.
I said you walked away.
I didn't even walk away. I didn't know she was making those until you guys called me over.
You were going in the other room, and I'm standing there. I'm like, what am I smelling that kind of smells vaguely smoky? And she had chicken in the oven, and I was like, well, it could be from the chicken. And I was trying to figure it out. And I'm like, no, I don't think it's the chicken. I opened the oven and checked on the chicken, and nothing really looked like it was like burning to the pan or anything, or the pan liner. And I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, what is this smell? And then I looked over at the microwave and I saw she had French fries in there, and I'm like, So I stopped the microwave and I opened it, and when I opened it, there was a white cloud substance coming out, and I didn't know if that was smoke or steam. It could have been either. It could have been both. And the smell that was coming out of there when I opened the door almost smelled like burnt bacon. And she, like, cooks copious amounts of bacon every morning, more than she should be. And I tell her she has to clean the microwave because of all the bacon grease, because it's disgusting. And she doesn't always. Like, I do the rest of the dishes in the house, or Russell helps with them, but I tell her, you need to do the microwave, if you want to wash something so badly. And I didn't know if the grease was getting to be to the point where it needed to be cleaned before the microwave continued to be used. And I'm like, why does this smell like something's about to burst into flames? And I called Russell, and he came over, and we're looking at the French fries, and we're smelling the microwave, and he looked down at the French fries again, and then he's noticing burn spots on them, and he's like, well, see, these were touching each other. And they were starting to burn where they were touching. I was like, oh, good lord. And then last night early this morning, I guess it was about 6 a.m., I was trying to go to bed. And I was dropping off the laundry that I finally got folded that he had brought back from the laundromat. And so we had some pot holders that we had washed. I was dropping off in the kitchen. I'm like, what's that smell? Because I hadn't been out there for a while. And the heat was running full blast. So I'm like, what is the weird smell? And then I was like, well, maybe it's just the cornbread muffins that he made earlier. And I kind of tried to write it off. And then I went into the bathroom and dropped stuff off in there in the linen closet. and, you know, heat was running full go, and the bathroom and the mother-in-law's bedroom seem to be the hottest rooms when the heat's running, and the rest of the house, it just kind of gets to be lukewarm air when it's coming out of those vents. And so I'm like, well, maybe it's just the heat stirring the smell up. Nobody's made anything since he made those. So I'm trying not to be me over it, and I walked back in the bedroom to do something, and I was coming back out to put a dish, I guess, in the sink before I went to bed. And when I walked out of our room, now our room was freezing last night. It was really getting cold because I turned the space heater off and was trying to get ready for bed. And when I ducked my head out of our room, I was sort of getting like warm air being swirled around my head. It was a really weird sensation. And we do have a heat run in the room outside of our room, but it's across from it. Like, it's on the opposite wall. So, and the Christmas tree is partially blocking it. So I was like, why do I feel like I have hot air swirling around my head? And then I was starting to get upset. And I was like, no, it's just the way the heat currents are running through the house. You're fine. And I walked back into the kitchen, and then I started to smell the weird burny smell again. And I'm like, what is happening? And I'm like smelling everything. And then I finally talked myself into, oh, look, there's a little bit of cornbread stuff on the cookie, not the cookie sheet, on the muffin pan, on the edge of it. That's where the smell is coming from. Everything is fine. So I finally nothing was happening, and, you know, we have a smoke detector and batteries. Speaking of, we have to figure out what batteries that needs, because we have to replace them for New Year's, although I don't know when you last replaced them, so I don't know if we just want to replace them on New Year's Day and be done with it, or what. So I'm like, well, if anything was really wrong, that would go off, because we know it works. And I'd finally kind of started to settle myself down, because the only time I smelled it was when I was in the kitchen. And I read for maybe, or tried to read for maybe a half an hour. And I was like, I've really got to go to bed. So I guess it was like 6:30 going on 7 in the morning, and I'm starting to settle in, and then some other weird sharp smell just hit me in the face, and I was like, oh my god, what is that? I'm like, it almost smells like burnt chocolate. Like, what is this smell? Like, it was gross. And then I heard my mom out in the kitchen. I'm like, oh, she's making coffee. And I know a lot of coffee drinkers are going to be like, oh, how dare you say that? It was instant Folgers. And for some reason, the smell of that always smells burnt to me. And I don't know why. Always. I'm not really a coffee drinker. I don't really like it. The one time I had like a weird like vanilla white chocolate mocha thingy, it gave me such a headache. So I can't really do coffee. And I don't normally mind the smell of coffee necessarily, but I was already fighting a headache, and then having that just hit me out of nowhere very unexpectedly. Like, if I go into a bakery or like a coffee shop, like, I expect to smell like a coffee smell. I didn't expect to smell it right then, because I didn't hear her get up. And that's not a brand that I like the smell of. Like, when it's brewing, like, she used to do Maxwell House all the time, and that was a smell I was okay with while it was brewing. But this one, I don't know if it's because it's instant coffee or what. Something about it just smells burnt every time. That and the weird donut coffee that she used to put in the Keurig, both of them always smelled burnt to me, unless that's just what coffee smells like to me now, which is entirely possible. But it was not something I enjoyed the smell of, and then that upset me, and then I'm like, spend another like 15 minutes talking myself down and be like, you're fine. It's just the coffee. But getting to sleep today was quite the adventure. And the one cat kept trying to lay on my feet, and I'm like, get off my feet. I need to be able to move my feet. I don't want you on my feet. And he kept coming back. I'm like, yes, you're cute and all, but I really don't want my feet trapped by you. Isn't there like another cat in this house that you could go lay with? I mean, take your pick. There's at least 3 others roaming around, if not 4. Well, no, I guess it would have been 3 others. Coffee is icky. Like, I don't, you know, people like coffee, hey, go for it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And apparently now the smell's one of the things that's gonna bother me suddenly. We had gotten hot chocolate mix. We'd gotten Swiss Miss the other night, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I used to be able to drink it all the time. And I did like half water, half milk. And I put some marshmallows in it. And I'd say within a half hour after finishing it, I had one hell of a headache. And I was like, what the hell's going on? I wasn't sure if it was the hot chocolate that did it, because it never did it to me before. And so then I was like, okay, well, this is weird. And we got a different brand, because I thought, well, maybe it was like Swiss Miss cheap chocolate that did it. Russell found hot chocolate mix from Land O'Lakes. And I'm like, I don't think this is going to be much better than the other one. I tried that, and again, I had a headache. And I was like, really? So I don't know if it's the same hot chocolate mix that they're both using with just different brand labels on them, or if there's something in them that they both have that just triggered the migraine. I'm like, I can't even do this now. I used to do hot chocolate all the time. Like, white hot chocolate was my absolute favorite. And when I worked at the craft store, there was this candy store that had moved in that they made the candy by scratch, and they offered white hot chocolate, and I would always go in there and get one whenever I was able to, if they were open when I was on a break. I loved it. And so I wanted to get the Ghirardelli hot chocolate if we could find it, but now I'm afraid to, because I don't know if it's just the hot chocolate in general that's triggering this migraine now, or what. Because this is new. It didn't used to trigger on chocolate at all. Like, I can eat candy chocolate and be fine. So I don't know if it's something about the like the dried dairy in it or what have you. I don't know. It was very bizarre. So I was kind of bummed about that. But at least I have my tea. So Walmart started selling the Twinings oolong. So that's not bad. I can do that. And Twinings used to do a berry, what was it? A mixed berry medley or something. And I really liked that. Or was it a berry cherry? It was something like that. Might have been berry cherry or cherry berry or something with a cherry and a berry, I think. Or maybe it was just cherry. they did something like that, and I really liked that one, and then they stopped selling it. So I don't know if it got discontinued or if they just stopped carrying it here. So that was sad. And I found out that it seems like Kermit's doesn't ship, Kermit's of Key West doesn't seem to ship their key lime tea or their coffee. I find it hard to believe that they wouldn't be selling them anymore. I think it's just something that they're not shipping, maybe for quality control reasons. Or maybe it's just too much of a hassle to ship that, because it's not something that's on their website that you can purchase online. But I know very, very well that we did buy it while we were there in the store location, so it does exist. And their key lime tea was fantastic, hot or cold. Because I know one time I'd made a cup and I got distracted doing something and I didn't get the chance to finish it. I gotten about halfway through and then I was like, well, I took a sip and I realized it was cold. I was like, oh, that's cold. I'm like, oh, you know what? That's not so bad. So I really liked it, and then found out after I ran out of it that I couldn't replace it easily without going back down there. So that made me sad, but we found another company that does key lime tea that we just found recently on Amazon. Shit, I forget what the company's called now. Metropolitan Teas, I think. We got it off Amazon. It came in like a balsa basswood box on the outside of it. And it was real pretty painted, kind of felt like an old-timey postcard decoration on the outside of it. I think it was called Ooh La La Lime or something like that. For some reason I'm remembering like weird limey stuff. You know, let me just see if I can find it real quick. We might as well. Right? We have a minute now. Let me see, where's my thing here? Key. I have these things on my fingers, so it's a little hard to type in them. No. M. Key lime tree. That would not survive here. Key lime tea. Oh, it's the Allah lime. That's what it is. Key lime tea. Yeah, it's from Metropolitan Tea. So this is sold and shipped from Amazon. This is not an affiliate link whatsoever. Actually, I don't know if that shouldn't link you to my account. I don't think it will. Let me see. Let me pop it in here. If I share a link from Amazon, it won't let other people see my account, right? It'll just let them see the item.
As long as you're not sharing from your actual wish list or anything.
It's not my wish list. It was just an item search. Okay. It should take you to that. It was a very pretty box. And then inside the box is a vacuum sealed silver bag. But no, it was very nice. Not as good as Kermit's. Like, the lime's not as pungent as Kermit's key lime tea, but it's a close second. Again, not an affiliate link. It's just something that I'm sharing that I enjoy. So yeah, and unfortunately we have to order it because we can't get that local, sadly. I'm not really a fan of like black tea, like straight black tea. I need to have some kind of flavoring to it. But Kermit's also had some pretty decent key lime pie candy. That you can get from their online store. And they had a really lovely hand lotion that didn't bother me, so I did like that. But I've been out of that for a while. And they had some bars of soap too that weren't too bad. They had like a bath set that had like shampoo, conditioner, and the bar of soap, I think. Or maybe it was the lotion, I can't remember. The shampoo did make my hair feel sticky though. I liked it, but while I was washing it, my hair felt a little sticky. It wasn't sticky after it dried, but I always thought that was a little odd, but it was alright. When it dried, it was fine. Alright, so we're almost down to our ankle here. Almost. Sorry. Reginald and I just can't seem to stay in the camera today. You all are allowed to yell at me. In case I don't notice. He's so awkward on this part of the leg here. Well, on the leg itself. That to turn him and twist him to get this attached, we're slowly sliding off the camera. So how was everybody's weekend? Everybody having a good one? Everybody ready for their holiday? Whatever your holiday celebration of choice might be. This is our last full gift. I mean, I have to do the quick little one tonight, but like I said, I'm thinking maybe 2 hours tops on that, and that might be overestimating. Because I think I'm going to use the polyfill, so that'll make it go a little bit faster. Kind of like how we did the snowman for the gingerbread display. Yeah, see, this is flattening out really a lot, so now I'm concerned as to whether or not I should bother doing this for the other thing. I mean, worst comes to worst, it doesn't hold up. But it might be worth experimenting with to at least see. So the foam doesn't just sit there and not get used and end up getting thrown away. Because at this point, I think the husband would have to get the supplies all over again anyhow, or at least most of them. And he might actually want to get new foam, because this foam feels like it's trying to not necessarily dry rot, but it is breaking down a little bit. But then again, I am stabbing it, so that's, I mean, I know it's going to break down from that. And I am more than expecting it to, so I don't think our temporary working mat's going to be a permanent solution. But I do want to price chair cushions. I mean, but then if I have to keep replacing it, I just wish I could get this thing a little bit bigger. That's what I'd really like. I'd be much happier if I could get that bigger. But I think that was the biggest one they made, so that's probably not an option unless I rig something myself. And I could rig something myself, probably. It probably wouldn't be all that difficult. Oh, sorry, it's snuffly season. It's also cold air drying me out. If you mean ready to avoid everyone, then yes. Winter Christmas in July, parents. Winter in Gulf Shores. Oh, interesting. Interesting. That's nice that you have that little tradition, and yeah, I would be ready to avoid everyone too. Like my vacations, even if I wasn't going anywhere, especially the ones when I wasn't going anywhere, if I was staying home, I'm like, leave me the fuck alone, nobody talk to me. I'm gonna get takeout and avoid everyone like the plague. Oh man, speaking of, we had to go to, I think I remember telling you guys that we went to the Walmart Supercenter in Fayetteville the other night to go get baking supplies. And for the cookies and stuff. Oh my goodness, I'll tell you. I am so glad that we don't live in Fayetteville. So glad. It's bad enough in our local Walmart that's just the grocery, but we went to the Supercenter, and the Supercenter is not that far from the University of Arkansas. So, you know, you've got all the college kids staying around there, and I guess some of the college kids...
Took you out, go.
What's he looking for? Did he pee? Did he pee? Hello? Husband? Russell? Russell?
Huh?
Did he pee?
Yes.
Huh. Weird. Unless he smells what I'm eating. Oh, a whole bunch of sirens. Oh yeah, so, it was chaos and crowded and so many people, and my mother was trying to turn her shopping cart around, and just all these people just came out of nowhere down the aisle and wouldn't even wait 2 seconds to let her turn the shopping cart around. They were just, you know, it was obvious she was trying to turn the cart, and they were just, you know, just going right on past her, goofing around, like slamming into stuff, and I'm just like, ugh. I'm like, where did all of you people fucking come from? There was nobody in this aisle 2 seconds ago. And I was just like, I want to go home. Just I don't want to be here anymore. There was just too much stupidness going on at that particular moment, and I was just like, yeah, okay, I've reached my tolerance for being here. I'm ready to go now. Alright, so we've still got a little bit of stuff to go on the footy foot. Looks like I need some more fluff. So looking at how much fluff I have in the bag left, I'm probably going to have to fluff another set. Probably. Because, I mean, it's a little bit compacted in there, but this is just like a sandwich size Ziploc. But I'm thinking we're going to have to go a little bit more. So yeah, this was the other color that I was thinking of adding in, and I've got a lighter color too that we might end up doing some stuff with. I don't have that color pulled over here though, so I can't really show that one. That one's still on my wall of fluff. Are you gonna stay put, Reginald, while I grab this other bit? As we work on getting your legs put together here, buddy. Or at least, you know, get them a little less all over the place. Your foot's gonna be interesting. Wow, all kinds of sirens all of a sudden. My goodness. No idea what's happening. Sounds like ambulances, though, or at least a ambulance. Oh. They stopped. Well, they didn't stop, but they stopped shorter than I was expecting them to. Not sure what direction they went in. That was hard to tell. This roving is just all kind of loosey-goosey on here. And just kind of full-on teenager mode of I do what I want. So this is going to be an adventure on getting this foot to behave, I think. Or at least that's kind of looks how it's going to shape up, or looking how it's going to shape up. There we go. All right. So let's make sure that I am attached to the other fluff. There's the wire that we just tapped. Whole new meaning to the phrase wire tapping. I don't want to break this needle, so we have to be a little bit more gentle because it's not on the surface, but it's right there. We're going to have a lot more needle breaking opportunities as we traverse back up the Dino, so Oh, Reginald. Certainly seems that way. Uh-oh. Who got timed out? Oh. Yeah, no. We don't buy followers.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're gonna go ahead. No, 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 shit. Not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do that. Nothing, I was trying to ban somebody and accidentally hit follow and I didn't want to follow them. We don't buy followers here. At least in camera. Yeah, I'm in camera, but you can't really see what I'm doing because the other leg's in the way. See what time is it? 6:30. So give me like another half hour and then we can start. If you're okay with that.
Yeah.
I would at least like to get this foot finished. Alright. So let's see what we got here. Reggie, my friend. Though I don't know how much of a friend he's going to be when we're done his acupuncture treatment. He might hate me, so... entirely possible. We're just trying to make you look pretty, Reg. That's all it is. Yeah, so I've got the parental family gifts sitting here in front of me. I still have to put the hanging string on my dad's and get the picture of that, the display picture of that. I need the husband to take it though. We'll try to do that tonight if I remember. And I will get that posted on the places. I think I still have to post some of these to Ko-fi. I just haven't had the time. I think some of them are posted to Instagram though. Or I may have remembered to post some of them to Ko-fi. I don't remember. I think I vaguely remember posting something to Ko-fi. You guys, I'm all over the place. I'm handling social media for me and WoW challenges, so sometimes I forget to do things. I'm trying. So it got posted somewhere. Well, the boat didn't, but the other 3 definitely did. So yeah, the Instagram, the Ko-fi, everything's pretty much just NiseyBGN, the YouTube channel. All of that. This is the last real involved gift that I need to get finished. So we'll see how this goes, if I can get it done in time. We might be doing a couple extra late night streams on this guy. I don't know yet. We will see. I have baking I'm doing tomorrow night and Tuesday. I can't really stream while that's going on, so... because I'm gonna have to keep getting up and dealing with cookies and stuff, and that's not a riveting stream when we're not already in the kitchen. We're not going to be doing a cooking stream. I don't have a setup that would allow that to happen. I mean, the husband does have his cell phone, but his cell phone's not doing the greatest. It's just kind of hanging in there. We really need to look into the replacement plan and see what needs to happen there. That's part of their thing, if there is even a phone replacement available. We're not sure if his mom blew through all of them. Because she's not exactly careful with her stuff. So I don't know. So I can't really use his phone out there, and the mic quality is not the greatest on that thing either. That and the kitchen's in pretty rough shape. It would need to be we need to do some renovations out there. Alright. Ugh, I feel like I inhaled a piece of fluff. I have like that cat hair feeling in the back of my throat. One of the hazards of working with fluff. That's pretty good. I mean, we're definitely getting a little less loosey-goosey here. As we are coming around our ankle area, I suppose we'll call it. Okay. Forgot I had another extra piece of foam over here to the side, which is probably why this felt a little short. Alright, so we should be starting to come around the ankle bend here. Momentarily. For as much as I've tapped this wire, I'm pretty proud that we haven't fucked another needle yet. Hoping we can keep it that way. Alright, so I'm probably gonna have to get a larger piece of fluff here. So that we can start working around this ankle joint here. This thing, man. So if I push down, I can feel the end of the wire. Trying to get these 2 feet the same length might be a little tricky. But we will do what we can here. All right. So is anybody going on any trips? I know Taco's doing a staycation. Maybe building a snow squirrel, depending on the snow. If it actually materializes. Like, when they say we're gonna get snow, I never actually believe them until it starts to do something. If it starts to lay on the ground, because it's always kind of iffy here. Because half the time it starts to melt the second it stops snowing. But I could totally see Taco outside building a snow squirrel while wearing your squirrel costume from Halloween. Whether people predict the weather, it's not an exact science, so yeah, always changed. And yeah, you will try. Photos, my girl, photos. If we ever got enough snow, I would try to build a snow flamingo, but we get more ice than snow here, usually. And the last time it snowed, it was like kind of gone by the next morning, or starting to go. And there just wasn't enough of it to build anything with. There just wasn't. So that was a bit annoying. It was just enough to be a nuisance and not really do anything with it. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here, my dino friend. Okay, we've got to figure out your foot here. So I'm probably going to go with the larger section of fluff. Let's see what we can do with your foot, Reginald. Alright, so I mean, not bad, 2.5 hours from going from like here all the way down to here. I know that's like, that you didn't get very far. No, I didn't, but for me, that's not terrible. Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit tricky because the fluff is, our base fluff is so loose here. The other foot was a little bit, well, the other foot was a little bit loose. It wasn't quite as this loose. Like there's our wire trying to poke through there. This one's really loose, and that's on me. 100%. For some reason that just didn't get attached as tight. So let's see what we can do to tighten this guy up a bit. What was that?
Don't know.
It almost sounded like a cat getting,
I'm sure it was a cat doing something it shouldn't be, but
getting into trouble. Like it sounded like something on your desk, which is why I was like, what happened? Okay, so let's try to work around our ankle and our heel here as carefully as possible. So we will see if we can make this similar to the other foot. I mean, if we can't, we can always come up with a story as to why the foot looks funny and just own it. And make it part of it. Right, like we are gonna do with the arm. Right now my biggest concern is getting around this curve, since that was proving to be a bit of a challenge. Like the fluff didn't want to stay around the curve, it kept trying to travel northward. There a bit. We will see how we can get this to come out. I think we need to change positions though, Reginald. Oh, Reginald. You and this foot. You and both your feet, actually, are just being so dang fussy. So I have to be careful because I found the wire. So I'm going to try to be a little bit slower. Alongside that, I'm kind of skimming it. I can feel it sliding past, or the needle sliding past it. So I don't want to, if I hit that just right, the needle will snap, or at the very least bend, which I don't want to do. Alright, so Reggie, my dude. As long as we can get the base color in on these feet, I think the rest of you will be able to move a little bit faster on. Sorry, I kept hitting the wire right in like the worst place possible. So I had to take a minute, slow myself down. Alright. See what we can do here foot-wise. Now, last night, I'm pretty sure I just kind of gave up on that after a while. And just started doing it over top of this. Just because it was a little bit easier. Now I need to see him from this direction, so you're not going to be able to really see that well what I'm doing because his body's kind of blocking the camera. But it shouldn't be for too long. We've got some loose strands back here that need to be attached. Like, I need your tail to stabilize you, but at the same time, your tail is dreadfully in the way. Alright. I just need to get this tightened up a little bit more. Just a little bit. We're getting there though. At least we're on the foot itself now. And I want to start to, it's not going to be perfectly flat. It's going to have a little bit of roundedness to it. But we should be able to get it at least stable to hold the weight of our boy up here. Hopefully. Alright, hang on, I need to see how we're doing. Alright, that's not... well, you're standing on that, but what about on this? Okay, you're doing okay there, buddy. My biggest worry was working on the feet and then having him be so lopsided that he was off balance. I mean, I've had to adjust the hip placement or the hip bend a little bit. I had to wishbone him just a tiny bit just to adjust his center of gravity, but... And I actually did have to give him a slight chiropractic back adjustment last night. I was like, It's like, what happened here? You're all weenie and shit. Okay. So a couple of years ago, and I can't even remember how long it's been now. It feels like it's been a couple of years. I think it has been, because I think it happened before all the COVID shutdowns at the very least. There was a house the next street behind us that caught fire and burnt down. And whoever lived there previously has been living in kind of like an RV trailer. Like a camping trailer, I guess would be a better description. Ever since it happened on the property. And just in the past like month or two, we noticed stuff happening on our walks by where we're like, hey, was this gravel here before? Because we didn't think so. And then we noticed that they had poured concrete slab. I was like, oh, that's new. Sorry, I swore I just heard voices yelling. I was like, what am I hearing? And then all of a sudden we saw framework going up and we could hear them doing the construction on it. And I was like, oh, I guess they finally got their money insurance settlement, because I think we had heard through the neighbor grapevine that they were having to fight the insurance company or something for the money. So I don't know what the fire department listed the cause of the fire as, but I guess something happened and they finally got the money, or it's just that it was taking that long. I don't know. And their house is going back up, their replacement house finally. And they were actually over there working today. And I was like, wait, they do construction on Sundays? This is new. Unless they're trying to help out a family member. I was surprised to see, or hear really, couldn't really see it from our house, but we can hear the hammering and the nail guns going off. they're starting to move right along. I doubt they'll be done by Christmas. But, I mean, they're gonna have to get the house inspected, electricity is gonna have to be done, and everything. Utility hookups and all that. So, highly doubt they'll be in there before the end of the year, but it was nice to see some sort of movement happening on that lot now. Because it's just been a slab of a lot for a long time. I can't remember if there had been a pool in the backyard at one point, but I vaguely think there was, because there was a fenced-in backyard. And I think they filled the pool in with dirt. Not too long after the fire, and I guess the fire investigation had wrapped up, because it seemed like there was kids playing on the property, you know, doing stupid kid shit, and they didn't want anybody getting hurt, so I think they filled in the pool with dirt. And then shortly thereafter is when the camper trailer showed up, and they were just staying on the property, keeping an eye on things, I suppose. Probably get that finger out of the way. Alright, so I'm kind of just trying to keep his foot as flat as I can. I mean, we're gonna have to not be flat to attach this bit. And to come back through. But we can try to be as flat as possible. Now I think on the other foot I actually came in with the needle and refelted the foot with what was there before I started wrapping it in the skin color. I was trying to do that on here a little bit as we were going, but it didn't seem to want to tighten up that well, although I was trying to do it in a hurry. So I guess that's not all that unreasonable that it wasn't quite cooperating. So does anybody play or have knowledge of Pokemon? I don't, like, I know the very bare basics about Pokemon. I was just never really something I got into. But I saw a post on Facebook when I got up, and this might be old news to some people. It was new news to me. I saw a post where they are talking about the fact that they're going to be retiring Pikachu and Ash as the face of the franchise. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, I can understand wanting to showcase a different character or whatnot, but I don't know if that's such a wise decision to completely retire them. I would still like leave them to the side as like a mentor thing. I wouldn't completely put them on a shelf or in a box or whatever. I mean, they've done you well for quite a number of years and made you quite a sum of money. I don't know if I would just completely shelf them. I would still leave them around in the background, but I guess we'll see what they intend to do with it, or how they're gonna actually handle it. Like, I could see him being a mentor figure and not constantly being there, but it made it sound like they were completely not going to use him at all anymore in any capacity, and I was like, I don't know about that decision, but alright, so we've got a little bit more to go on the foot. Here, so see what we can do about that. So I'm curious to know how the pokey people feel about that. Like, is the pokey community sad? Are they angry? Are they ready for a change? I don't know. Alright, so trying to wrap around our foot here, and I know we're doing it in smaller chunky pieces here, but sometimes that's the easier way to do it. What am I hearing? Is that you?
Maybe, I don't know.
Did you just have a whole bunch of high-pitched yelling?
Yes.
Okay, I'm hearing your headphones. I'm thinking it's coming from outside. Holy hell.
Well, I can hear something else. Sounds like those kids.
There shouldn't be kids on a Sunday night.
I don't know, maybe it's your parents' TV?
I don't know. I mean, it's fucking dark out. The only time I've known those kids to be outside at the church is on Wednesday night during youth night. Like, I just kind of heard like frantic high-pitched yelling. That kind of made me think of angry mom. Get the fuck back over here! What did I tell you? And but it was hard to hear through my earphones. Holy hell. You might want to turn your volume down a little. Alright, so. Gentle, gentle. Nice and easy, because that wire is like right there. I don't want the foot to be too abnormally wide, but we also need to get this unruly roving in check here as much as we can. Oh, are we attaching you? Okay, not that bad. We are flattening you though, so I am wondering if my idea is gonna work. I think one person in here at one point had said that they made their own mat with like burlap, and they like sewed a couple sheets of burlap together and then filled the inside of it with something, and I can't remember what they filled the inside with. I want to say it was rice. But I could be mistaken. We will see. I think you can kind of... Okay, that foot is out of the way. Alright. Well, there's not a whole lot I can do if it is in the way. Kind of just have to go with it here. We're almost done this foot. Almost. So you can kind of see this moving ever so slightly. It's not full on, but we are trying to get that back in check here a little bit. Since he seems to be having a grand old time. Just doing his thing. But I don't want your foot eaten by an alligator just yet, Reggie, so... Or another dinosaur, or a man-eating plant. Oh, it's Sunday. We have to put the trash on the curb. We don't want to miss that. And definitely can't miss recycling this week since they changed our day. Although I don't know if we have anything in the kitchen. I know we've got a little bit out here. One of our recycling guys checks our bins, even if I don't remember to put them on the curb. Which is nice of them, but we don't always get that person. And I don't know if we're gonna have that person now that our day changed. It could end up being somebody else entirely. Alright, look here, foot. I don't have time for your shenanigans. You need to behave here. I do vaguely remember having to fuss quite a bit with the other foot. Last night. To the point that I was like, why? You're a foot. Why are you being this difficult? Okay, so I still got quite a bit of an issue going on with this extra fluff here. See if I can try to tighten that up just a little bit. Don't know if I can. Things being what they are. I mean, we could try. Didn't you need to call Tim?
Yeah.
Alright, we'll go ahead and call him.
I will do so in a moment.
And then when you get off the phone with him, we'll start getting dinner sorted here. This foot's being a little extra obnoxious here. Alright, so let's see about getting this attached into here. Hopefully we can get it to where it's gonna behave. We will see. I mean, we got the one done, so we ought to be able to get this other one to cooperate. I mean, we did it once, right? So, in theory, we ought to be able to do it again. So I think how we're going to handle this bulge on the foot is for this one I had to wrap around the front half and like anchor it to the top of the foot and the bottom, because it just wasn't cooperating any other way. So let's see what we can make happen. I do need to turn him for a couple of minutes here though, so I can see what our foot situation is looking like. All right. So let's come back into here and see what we can do here. You might hear Russell in the background. He's talking kind of loud on the phone. The family member he had to call, I think, is on his cell phone, and I don't know if they're on the road still or if they got to where they were going. But, we will see how we can do. Hopefully this foot will start to cooperate, because Mr. Foot is starting to drive me insane. So I've never heard of a top-load dryer. All the dryers I've seen have been front-load. Are there really that many top-load dryers? Or are they misunderstanding that this isn't a washing machine, that it's a dryer? Are like all the new dryers top-load? Like, I don't understand. Like, his aunt said the same thing about a top load, and we're like, no, it's a dryer, it's a side load, front load, whatever the fuck it is. Like, what are you talking about? I'm so confused. Like, I thought all dryers front loaded. I know you can have top load or front load washers. Like, are we not on the same page here, or? Okay, well, it sounds like he just found out what he needed to know, so. We found the part on, they do have top-load dryers? Okay, I've never seen them. So I was very confused. I've only seen top-load washers. And I know a lot of the washers are going to front-load, a lot of the newer ones. But I didn't see that many top-load dryers. Fascinating. See, we learned something new. I was very confused because I don't think Russell and I have seen. We've never had a top-load dryer. So I didn't know that this magical unicorn was a thing. I thought they were confused.
What magical unicorn?
I did not know there was such a thing as top-load dryers. I thought all dryers were front-load.
No, and most of the ones from that company are top-load.
Really?
Even James isn't entirely sure, because he only ever dealt with one.
Oh, God.
But he did tell me what to look for, so now I have somewhere to go with.
Oh, you were talking to James, not Tim.
James, yeah.
Okay.
There are, apparently, you know how there's a thick metal piece on the top? So, and it's separated. Somewhere under that separation is going to be a push clip. So I have to push that in to lift the top in order to get everything else taken apart.
As long as you know what you're looking for,
Yes.
because that sounds extremely...
It's going to take some effort to figure out. And I need to find one of our putty knives or possible. Actually,
I have a putty knife.
You have a putty knife?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got paint all over it, but
That's
I've
fine.
got
That
one.
don't matter. But yeah, so now I've got somewhere to start with. I'm going to try to work on that tomorrow.
Well, I mean, it's not like the thing's running anyway, so I mean...
But I've got a place to start now, so I'll go ahead and I'll try to fix that tomorrow.
Well, you have to do your paperwork tomorrow. If you don't
right.
do it tonight, I'd prefer you do it tonight to get it done with. But
I gotcha.
so that way we can stop thinking about it, or trying to remember to think about it. All right. So did you start the oven preheating?
Yes.
Okay. So what? Tim was like, I don't fucking know. Call James.
No, Tim is actually with James right now.
Oh, they're together. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought they had
doing
parted.
a hunting trip.
Oh, okay. From when he said he was moving back to Kentucky or Tennessee or something, I thought those two had like completely parted ways, and I didn't know he was still kind of around. Well, that worked out then.
No, they're actual friends.
Oh, okay.
So they have been.
I wasn't sure if that was just I'm tired of dealing with you business-wise sort of situation. Okay, well. That worked out that at least they were together, and the part we need is like $20.
Yeah. So as long as I can disassemble it to the point of getting to that part, I can fix this.
Now, could it just be that the tension on the belt
Yes.
is going too, and that's why
It's possible that the tension on the belt's going. It's possible that the actual switch got shook loose and just isn't.
So it could be a
against the
couple
belt.
different
Yeah.
things.
That's why I haven't bought the part yet or anything.
Yeah, because Stir was telling me that he had to replace the belt on his dryer, and the belt was like $10 on Amazon, which was a hell of a lot cheaper than the $200 service call to have somebody come out and look at it.
Yeah, no, because the drum is moving when I turn it on.
I don't think
it just
it's
doesn't stay on. It's probably the belt switch.
Okay.
Probably.
Alright. I'm just trying to finish up this tip of the foot, so that's preheating anyway, so.
Yep, you're good.
Alright. So, Tim and James were the guys that were pulling electronics off of stuff that they were picking up for free that people were getting rid of or whatever, that they were testing to see if they still ran, and then they were having Russell post it on eBay for them. So, and he had dealt with a couple of motors and stuff from them, so they kind of knew a little bit about how to take shit apart at least. And Tim is married to one of Russell's aunts. So he's kind of an uncle-in-law, I guess, would be the technical terming. So, I mean, if the dryer's not running one way or the other, we might as well, I guess, try to fix it if it's something fixable. I mean, it's not like it's the heating element or anything. It still makes me a little bit nervous, because he's not that handy. I mean, he has replaced a couple of electrical outlets. But this is a little different. So we'll see. I mean, I guess if it doesn't work, then we're in no worse of a position than we're already currently in. But yeah, it's some weird name brand washer and dryer that begins with an A, and I can't even remember what the fuck it was. Armana? Not Amana. But it was strange. It's not like a Whirlpool or a Maytag or a GE or even like Hot Point or something. Oh, I was looking at dryers just to try to see how much they were going for nowadays, and oh boy, that was some sticker shock there, number one. Even on sale. at like the home improvement stores. And number two, I kid you not, when I was looking at the $300 to $400 dryers, they had portable dryers that looked like you could fit maybe 3 t-shirts in, and I was like, what? Guess what company most of them were from?
What company?
Magic Chef. And I'm like, wait, what?
So basically spin dryers.
I'm like, Magic Chef is making dryers now? I think you should stick to kitchen appliances and cooking things. I was just like, what? I think it said Magic Chef. It was something obscure that I'm just like, this is not where you belong. One of these things is not like the other. I was like, maybe we should stick to, you know, I don't know, food processors and salad spinners. I was just like, why do we need a portable dryer? Number one. And number two, this doesn't even look big enough to be worth the bother. Like, maybe some socks and underwear. I don't know. It maybe they're actually bigger than they looked like, but they looked pretty small. I was like, well, we'd never get a blanket in there, that's for damn sure. Maybe just big enough for the stuff that you don't want to take to the laundromat? I don't know. So we're probably going to have to do a second layer on this. Just to try to tighten that foot up and in a bit here. Was that you? Okay, that was the husband. I didn't hear him walk out. Alright, so I think we'll end up pausing here. Because, I mean, you guys get the gist of what we're doing. I mean, the foot's just about completely covered anyway. Now, this foot is a little bit shorter than the other one, but, you know, it's a Nisey critter, so let's not be too surprised about that. So, let me slide that over to there, and we'll get a better look at the Nisey critter. So, I mean, he does stand at the top of his head. I kind of wanted him to be a little bit more forward, but I'm sure that's just adjusting that we're gonna have to do as we keep working on him. But yeah, I mean, we've almost got the foot figured out. He just needs like another layer or two wrapped around him, but that's the basic gist of it. So we'll stop here for today. We'll pick back up on him tomorrow. We'll see if we can get a little bit more time in on him tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be able to elongate this foot very much, but it's okay. He's got mismatched feet that goes with his mismatched arms. Maybe his toes got bit off or something. He had a tussle with a gator, is what we'll say it was. But yeah, so he's not doing too bad. He's getting there. Yeah, so we'll pick back up on him tomorrow. I'm going to try to get this foot done tonight, though. So we might be working on this area in his back in here tomorrow and moving up to our chest and arms. So don't forget to follow all the socially places down below. We've got the Ko-fi, the YouTube, the Instagram, and we still have the Twitter. We haven't given up on Twitter just yet, or we'll probably be there till it completely implodes and it gets shut down. And I also am in Discord. You can usually find me in the Wild Challenges Discord, but Discord, on the whole, my tag is Nisey, parentheses, how to say it, Nisey. What the heck was it? It was hashtag 40... Oh, hang on. Let me bring me up here. No, I don't want to copy it. I want my number. It's not showing me my number. Really, it's not showing me my number. I think it's like 4863 or 4868 or 4684, something like that. You can find me in the Wild Challenges Discord. That's all that really matters. So yeah, and we'll pick this back up tomorrow. Let's see, is anybody around that we want to visit? Don't know if they are. I'm not sure when the husband's going to want to pick back up his work on his zoo. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and stop there for tonight. I don't see anybody to go visit that I want to visit right now. So yeah. So I'm gonna go get dinner. You guys have a good night. Have a good start to your week. And I hope to see you tomorrow, and make sure you've got notifications here turned on for when the husband decides to pick back up working on his zoo. So until next time, have a good one.